you know, and you know, my guy, he's ex-military, so you know, I've buffered it out completely, like V2K and everything, completely at times. But then, you know, he gets over my defenses. You know, they are monitoring your EEGs and stuff like that, and so I mean, they can tell when you're in pain because they're surveilling you too. And I think that's, you know, like I complain, you know, and we should all complain no matter what reason they have for things. But Brian too was saying this, and it's kind of an astute observation. You know, I'm always like, why are they watching me take craps, and you know, why are they watching this or why are they watching that? They couldn't just turn it off for that part and then keep the surveillance. But the thing is, they're trying to traumatize you 24 hours a day, so that, you know, the remote neural monitoring can work and stuff like that, and experiment on you, and they were using the technology, and so they have to surveil you. And I mean, this is insane. Like, they're insane. And there's a one-light truck coming up. Damn it, did I get it? You know, it's insane. I'm not saying, oh, this is the logic behind it. But what they're doing is they surveil everything you do, because they need to know if you're in pain. They need to know that the constant trauma is still going and stuff like that. They're real crazy people. So that's why they'll sit there and just surveil you, even when you're just, you know, using the bathroom or doing something very, you know, very private, intimate with your spouse, or, you know, whatever. Because they have to track how you're feeling all the time, and your EEG all the time, and just really cling on to you like a parasite, you know, and really get, you know, every feeling that you have. I also had a good question from somebody, and I don't know the full answer for this, but, you know, they were asking about, you know, what database do they store, you know, our memories in, or things that we're thinking. There's a one-light white truck right there. Got that pretty good. You know, they're I'm not sure about that, and then the light's changing right there. Let's see how quick it is. But I don't know where they're storing memories or things that you think. But I do know that, you know, my attacker has everything. You know, from when I was in that house and when I was in, you know, my apartment, he can bring back memories from even when I was in the apartment before he started torturing me with the remote neural monitoring. So all this stuff, anything that they want to save, they can save it. Like, they have imagery of your memories, and I know that at the very least, they can save it to some type of file in their remote platform. That's what Brian too calls it, and that's a good word for it, remote platform. I know that I don't know what kind of huge database that it goes on. I'm sure it does go to one. I'm sure the NSA collects all that information. But I know that my organizers who use the remote platform and work on this, that they can bring back anything that I'm thinking, you know, from a long time ago. And they save those things that, you know, little burps of thought that they think will, you know, incriminate you or make you look bad, and then they just kind of compile those. So I think if they show anybody who's participating just all the little bad burps of thought, or, you know, just weird stuff, or just things that even they've remote neural monitored, and they collect all those things, and so it doesn't show your whole line of thinking throughout 7 years. They just show, oh, this was a weird thought he had, and then they just compile anything like that to really defame you and stuff like that to the people who do see the remote neural monitoring. And that's kind of my theory on that. I don't know the main database. That's a great question, but I'm sure the NSA, you know, has their fingers on that. I did last night before the movie. There was a great preview, new movie coming out about Snowden, and he started working for the NSA, and just, you know, it shows how they can look at us through our computers and stuff like that, and just watch everybody in the world basically. And you know, who plays it? The guy who was Robin in the new Batman. I love that guy. And I think that's going to be a great movie. I think it's going to be an eye-opener for people about how much information and surveillance is going on in our society. And then as target individuals, we know that it's even worse, that people are abusing it so badly that they're actually remotely torturing people because they can remotely watch you. So they've amped it up to taking wireless signals, directed energy, and causing cancer and torturing and raping people. There was a one-light truck going by, I didn't get it. I have a lot of vehicular stalking. And like, I wonder sometimes, like, I kind of wish that I lived in a small thing and didn't drive. Because I think that because I drive around the city, and I do drive around everywhere in my city, it picks up people in different places of the city, and it's probably, it's probably been used to make my targeting even bigger. But I got to do what I got to do, and when I work, I have to go to the mail. I got to go pick up the mail and stuff like that. What other questions did I get? That was a great question. I know that when they remote neural monitor, they can collect, thoughts or phrases or anything and then push them back in. I'm just not sure on their remote platform. I guess it's just saved in a file as a visual. Because when it's like sometimes I'll think of a girl or something that I like, and I'll think about her naked, and then they'll freeze that. It'll like freeze in my head. So it's almost like sometimes they can, do things with the remote neural monitoring and freeze it in my head to where I can't move on to another image. If I think about something else, that image will be superimposed on it because they're working with that image. They're working to freeze it and to save it. And as I do, I am a guy, so I do think of women naked, of age women naked. They have a lot of that, I guess, and then, if they compile all that through 5 years of every time, I thought of a woman naked, then they can just show that all to somebody as if it was just all I thought about. Somebody who was close to the equipment or something like that, and they'd be like, oh, this guy's a pervert. So that's what they try and do. They try and like kind of crunch you down to a couple of images that they think can be used against you. And that's just for the inner circle. And then the outer circle of stalkers and harassers that harass around you, then they're just told stuff. And the other day I had somebody in the racetrack, they were rubbing their left eye, on the top of their left eye, and it was somebody who was trying to do it all smooth, but it was really obvious. Now, this guy didn't know, he doesn't know anything about my magnet therapy or anything like that, but they're told something like, okay, when you go out and you see this target, they have notes like, you do this, rub your left eye, and they have no idea why they're doing it. Like, they don't know the reason that they're doing this, but the inner circle who's getting all this information, they're passing this out, and they're saying, do this little thing, because they know you're going to know what it means. But the people who are harassing you out and about doing the street theater, they have no idea what it means. They're just told to do that and that it's going to bother you. So I guess that's pretty much, that's all I kind of have that's new. After a one day, I just don't have a lot of new stuff. I really, I think y'all should watch Spirit and Physical's videos. Spirit and Physical, I want to give her a plug. She makes some really good videos. I really get a lot out of her videos because, like, I'm more on the, I am a spiritual person, but I'm into the actual physical defenses. I think we need to physically defend. The way that my torturer tortures me, I can't really just combat it, with positive energy. And I'm not saying she does this at all. I'm sure she, it has concrete defenses, but she's really good. She's really good at understanding the way that energy flows, in a way that's kind of above my head. And I'd like to recommend those videos. I hope she doesn't mind. But Spirit and Physical, it's like Spirit in, like the letter N, and then Physical. And it's helped me a lot, and I think it can help a lot of guys. If you watch those, because like I get very angry and aggressive, and I'm not going to do anything with that anger or aggression. But I'm very concrete. I want to get defenses to defend it. I use prayer, and I try and remain strong and positive imagery, about superheroes or just things that are positive to me, my family. But she's very, I've watched her get better. Like I've watched her get stronger in all this. So I think she has a lot of things to say about about maintaining your power, not giving it over to them. And she's very insightful on how you're not going to change them. You're really going to have to disconnect. You have to disconnect and not feed into them, because if you feed in them in any way, it's like a tar baby. You're going to put your fist into the tar baby, and then they got you. So she has some very, very good spiritual advice. For the psychological torture, V2K, and remote neural monitoring. I love watching her videos because that's an aspect that I really struggle with. I struggle with disconnecting from them. They found my attackers they found my buttons, and they pull me in with them. So I'll end up yelling at them. That they're going to destroy their own lives, and they're dumb, and they're vampires, and and it just doesn't work. It just feeds into what they want, and you really have to just not even not give them anything. And so she has some great videos. I would really suggest watching her videos, especially as a guy, because we have a lot of trouble. I don't even have that much testosterone, and I have a lot of trouble backing down from this, not being like, well, because these people, they almost murdered my dad, they're torturing me every night, they're hurting my family doesn't even know about it, and I want to punch this guy's lights out. I told him that the other night. I said, you don't have to worry about me doing violence, but the biggest thing is, if I did see you one time, I'd want to punch your freaking lights out. And so, that's, as guys, I guess we deal with that. We deal with that kind of you want to defend yourself. You want to defend your family. Women too. I'm not trying to be sexist here. I'm just saying, we need that. That, and that's, that's the reason that it's so sad for me. I've had a monogamous girlfriend all my life, and I miss out, because when you do have a girlfriend or something like that, there's a balance there. There's a real balance there, that when I had a girlfriend, they could calm me down and stuff like that. And now that I'm alone and I'm dealing with all this targeting stuff, it's just I feel like my rudder is just broken, and I get angry a lot, and I'm like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna defend, and I'm gonna get you guys, and so just, I'm just saying, her videos are very good. There's a lot of guys who have a lot of great spiritual advice too. I hope that sometimes I do, but I know I'm grounded. I'm too grounded is what I mean to say. I have religion. I have spirituality, and I do believe in Jesus Christ, and I do believe in God, and I do really believe in a universal loving force that I've seen. So I do have spirituality, but the more I get into this, the more visceral I get. I see that the defenses work concretely, and I get away from positive feelings because I'm feeling negative all the time, and I just stop paying attention to it, not on purpose. And so I'm just saying, if you have a lot of trouble with that, please watch her videos. She gives some great spiritual advice, and she remains very calm through it, and she has very unconditional love, and I think that's important. It's important for us to have unconditional love, because you may not be able to forgive these people or whatever, but just having unconditional love for everything on the earth is very important. And then just not getting into the tar, not starting to punch that tar baby, because you can't win. you'll just get tar all over yourself. So I did want to